Welcome to PE with the Albion Foundation. I'm Mr. Ward.
And I'm Mr. Holmes. Today we're going to be focusing on competing, but we're also going to be focusing on throwing for distance using the shotput technique. Today's learning objective is competing whilst throwing for distance in the shotput. Our wall today is called shuttle shots. All you're going to need is a channel marked out like we've got here, which is for one player. The next channel needs to be at least 3 meters away to keep social distancing. As well as that, as you'll see, Mr. Ward's got a yellow cone here, a red cone here, and a tennis ball. The only other thing you're going to need is a wall. We're using this metal pole here. You might use a brick wall, a flat wall, whatever you can use, so long as the ball will bounce off it. Okay? So, Mr. Ward is going to start by throwing the ball in the way that he thinks a shot put throw works. If you don't know, that's fine. Experiment and have a go. So he's going to throw it against the wall, try to catch the ball, place it back down, sprint to the red cone, sprint back again, and repeat. How many times can Mr. Ward complete that in 3 minutes? So for the next step in our activity, we need to try and develop how far we can throw the ball, okay? We're going to focus on the technique in a little while. So long as you've got it basic, that's fine. So the ball's near the neck, the arm's up, and we're pushing away from the body. That's all you need to know for now. We can move into more detail later, okay? So now, every time you successfully catch the ball, when it bounces back from the wall, all you're going to do is pick up your cone, take 1 step backwards, place it down again. Remember, you need to do the same for the red cone as well. So we're going to pick the red cone up, 1 step backwards, place it down again. What that's done now is given me a slightly further distance to throw against the wall. If I manage to catch it again, I'm going to move backwards. If I don't catch the ball when it bounces back, guess what? I've got to go one step forwards, closer to the wall, and work backwards again. Let's have a go. Now, because I caught the ball, we're going to move backwards again. So, one step. One step. What we can do here is we can start to mix up the movements. So instead of me sprinting back to the red cone now, you can either run backwards, you can skip, you can sidestep, you can jump, or you can hop. I want you to choose the movement and I want you to change it every single time. Let's have a go. I'm going to sidestep. Caught the ball, I'm going to move one step backwards. So now, as you'll see, we're almost double the distance away from where we started. It's gradually getting harder. Let's have a go. So for our next step, we're going to focus on the technique and really throwing that shot put for distance now, instead of trying to catch it on the rebound. Mr. Ward's going to hold the ball in one hand. He's going to bring it back just under his jawbone, facing outwards. He's then going to place his non-throwing arm pointing upwards at approximately a 45 degree angle. He's going to lean back a little bit. If it helps him with some momentum, he can rock backwards and forwards a couple of times. And what he's going to do, we're not going to throw, we're going to push the ball out of the body and release at the highest point. So, grip by the jaw, non-throwing arm pointing, lean back and push. Grip, hold by the jaw, lean backwards, non-throwing arm, and when you lean forwards, push and release. How far can you throw it? Now we're throwing for distance, we really want to know how far we've thrown that ball. We don't want to start getting out meter sticks and tape measures, because they're just more equipment that we're going to need to clean at the end of the lesson. So we're going to measure our throw in how many steps away from our start point it is. So when Mr. Ward throws the ball now, where it lands, he's going to step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that where it landed? Right, 8.5 steps. So next time, Mr. Ward's challenge is to beat 8.5 steps. Remember, the landing point is your score before the first bounce. So if it rolls, don't count the roll, the first bounce is your score. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, you beat your score, your challenge. What's the highest score you can get?
Our next progression is competing against our classmates. We've just competed against ourselves. What we're now going to do is myself and Mr. Holmes, we're going to have a channel each. Make sure your channels are 3 meters apart, and we're going to have a number of throws, and each time we're going to discuss with each other who's thrown the furthest.
Make sure when you're discussing, you stay in your own channel to keep your distance, but we can still talk to each other.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm going to beat you.
There you go. One is playing fair.
2, 3, 4, 5. 13 steps.
9.
Well done. Ready? Oh. 15.
16. 1-1.
Well done.
I think I'll bet you there.
My shot doesn't count because it went outside the channel.
Well, then
make sure we
take the
throw
game.
straight.
Take it again. I got 16. Well, here.
Okay?
Okay?
I'm going to take my shot again because that one didn't count because it went outside the channel. We've got to make sure we throw straight. So a 16 to beat.
So at the moment I'm winning.
Yep. $18. So just to wrap up from our session today, a few questions to answer.
Being competitive against yourself and others is really fun. However, when being competitive, you need to do it in a fair and fun manner. When myself and Mr. Holmes was playing, we was encouraging each other, and then there was some good encouragement, but also really pushing each other, and within the session, just giving each other good pointers, and at the end, trying to win.
So why is it important to be fair when we're competing?
What techniques do you need to focus on within the shot put?
What can you do to make sure you throw the ball further?
Keeping a safe distance, explain the perfect shot put technique to a partner.
Thanks for joining in today. We hope you've enjoyed our Foundation PE lesson. Teachers, don't forget, you need to clean all the equipment that's been touched.